Hello students, Saira. Let's continue with the revision of chapter 8, decimals. Children, let's see how we can convert the mixed fractions to decimals. So here we have a mixed fraction 7 1 upon 2. So 7 1 upon 2 can be written as 7 plus 1 upon 2. Now we have to convert the fraction 1 upon 2 into an equivalent fraction so that we have 10 as the denominator. So we can multiply 1 upon 2 by 5. So we get 7 plus 5 upon 10. Now 5 upon 10 can be written as 0.5, isn't it? So 7 plus 0.5 becomes 7.5. So 7 1 upon 2 is equal to 7.5. We have another mixed fraction here, 9 1 upon 4. 9 1 upon 4 can be written as 9 plus 1 upon 4. Now we will convert the fraction 1 upon 4 and into an equivalent fraction so that we have 100 as the denominator. So it is multiplied by 25. So we get 9 plus 25 upon 100. So 9 plus 25 upon 100 can be written as 0.25, isn't it? So 9 plus 2 0.25 becomes 9.25. So 9 1 upon 4 is equal to 9.25. 9.25. Next we have another mixed fraction 12 1 upon 8. So it can be written as 12 plus 1 upon 8. Now to convert 1 upon 8 into a fraction, an equivalent fraction, so that we have 1000 as the denominator, we multiply 1 upon 8 by 125. So we get 125 upon 1000. So 12 plus 125 upon 1000 we get. Now 125 upon 1000 can be written as 0.125, isn't it? So 12 plus 0.125 becomes 12.125. Now let's see how to change a decimal into a fraction. Children, we have a decimal here 0.25. So we can write the decimal 0.25 as 25 upon 100, isn't it? When we convert the decimal into a fraction, we should see how many decimal places does the decimal number have. So here we have that means after a decimal point how many digits are there. So here we have 2 digits, that means we have 2 decimal places. What are the 2 decimal places? 10th and 100th. So we will write 25 upon 100. And always we have to reduce the fraction into its lowest form. How? By dividing it with a number such that the numerator and denominator don't have any common factor except 1. So when we divide 25 by 100 by 25, so we get 1 upon 4 as the lowest form. So the lowest form of 25 upon 100 is 1 upon 4. So 0.25 can be written as 1 upon 4. Now here we have more examples to show how to write the decimals as fractions in lowest terms. So first one is 0.04. 0.04 can be written as 4 upon 100, isn't it? Because there are 2 decimal places. So we can write the denominator as 100. So 4 upon 100 is 1 upon 25 in its lowest form. By dividing both by 4, we get this lowest form 1 upon 25. Now we have next one B 2.34. Now 2.34 can be written as 2 plus 34 upon 100, isn't it? Now 34 upon 100 can be turned into its lowest form, which becomes 17 upon 50. So 2 plus 17 upon 50 becomes 2 17 upon 50. This is the mixed fraction. Now see, we have 0.342. Now 0.342 can be written as 342 upon 1000, isn't it? Because there are 3 decimal places, so we put 3 zeros here. So we get 342 upon 1000. Now changing this fraction into its lowest term. For this we divide both by the common factor 2. So what do we get? We get 171 upon 500. So this is how we turn the decimals into the fractions with lowest terms. Now coming to the next topic is how to compare the decimals. How do we compare the decimals and tell which one is greater and which one is smaller, or are they equal? Let's look at this representation, where here we have, in the first one we have 0.33. In the picture we can see that 33 blocks out of 33 squares out of 100 squares are colored green, and here 0.30 means 30 squares out of 100 equal squares are colored green. So which one is greater? Obviously we can see that 0.33 is greater than 0.30. Now without the pictorial representation, how can we understand which decimal is greater? So how can we decide that which one is the greater decimal? Now look at these two numbers, decimal numbers. First, to compare the decimals, we compare the whole numbers. By looking at these numbers, we can see that in this number it's 1 and here it is 0. That means the digit to the left of the decimal point. So obviously 1 is greater than 0. So this number is greater than this one. Now let's see more examples. Here we have a number. We have two numbers, 0.472 and 0.47. So how do we compare these numbers? Now for comparing these, first we compare the numbers to the left of the decimal point. That means the whole number. Here we can see that both the numbers have 0 to the left of the decimal point. In that case, then we move further and compare the digits in tens place. Here we can see in tens place also the digits are same. Then we move further right to the hundredths place, and here we can see that in hundredths place also we have same digits. That means hundredths are also equal. In that case, what do? We can add 0 because we have unequal number of decimal places here. So first, to make them like decimals, we add 0 here, like we have done here. Now we can compare the digits in thousands place. Obviously 2 is greater than 0. So this number is greater than this one. So first we compare the whole numbers, that means the number to the left of the decimal point. Then we compare the tens. Then we if the tens are equal, we move on to hundredths. If the hundredths are equal, then we move on to thousands. This is the way we compare the decimal numbers. We have more examples here. We have two numbers, 42.875 and 423.95. So it is very clear, here we have 42 and here we have 423. So obviously this is greater. Now we have another example here, 23.75 and 23.89. Here we can see that the number to the left of the decimal point is equal. So we compare the digits at the tens place. So here we have 7 in this number and here we have 8. So 8 is greater than 7, obviously this number is greater. We can understand this by taking one more example. We have the numbers here 4.080 and 4.076. So first we compare the numbers to the left of the decimal point. They are equal. So we move on to tens place. We compare the numbers there. They are also equal. Then we move on to the next place, that is hundredths place, and we compare the numbers or the digits there. So here we comparing 8 and 7, we can see that 8 is greater than 7, isn't it? So this number is greater. So this is how we compare the decimal numbers. Now we have some questions here. Which is the smallest in 6.25, 6.2507 and 6.257. So where do we have maximum decimal places? We have in this number maximum decimal places. So first we have to make these numbers, the decimal numbers, like decimals. So we add zeros to make the numbers like decimals, isn't it? Now we can compare. Now we can compare and say that the number 6.257 is the greatest one, okay, but which is the smallest one, we have to find out. So how do we compare this? First, as I told you, we will make them like decimals by adding zeros. So maximum decimals decimal places is 4 here. So everywhere we add 0 and make them like decimals. Now if we compare the digits, the numbers to the left of the decimal point, they are all equal. Then we move to tenths place, then they are also equal. Then we move on to hundredths place, they are also equal, isn't it? Then we move on to the thousandths place and compare. Here we have these two numbers A and C, where the thousandths places are equal. So we move on to the next place, 10,000ths place. Here we compare 7 and 0, isn't it? Obviously 0 is smaller, isn't it? So this number, the first one, 6.25 is the smallest one. 6.25 or 6.2500 is the smallest number. Next, arrange the following decimals in a descending order. Descending order means from greatest to smallest, isn't it? So this problem you have to solve as homework, as a practice sum, and you have to arrange these numbers, these decimal numbers, in descending order. That means from highest to lowest. Now let's move on to the next problem, which is lesser and y. So here we have two decimals, so we have to see which one is lesser and y. So what do? We compare them. We compare the whole numbers to the left of the decimal point, they are equal. Then we move on to the 10th place, they are also equal. Then we move on to the next place, that is 100th place, they are also equal. And here in this number we have 3 decimal places. So, we add one 0 to this number. Now, we compare the numbers, the digits in thousands place. So, here in this number we have 0, whereas in this we have 3. So, 0 is less than 3, isn't it? So, obviously this number is greater and this is lesser. This number is lesser. Next one is, which one is greater, 2.1 or 2.155? Again we have two decimals, we have two decimal numbers where the decimal places are different, isn't it? Here we have 1 and here we have 2.155. So, we have to make them first like decimals. So, we make them like that, 1.100, we add 2 zeros and the other number is 2.155. Alright. Now, we can compare the numbers to the left of decimal point equal. 10th place, the numbers in 10th place, they are equal. Then we move on to 100th place. Here in this number we have 5 and here we have 100. So, obviously this number is greater, isn't it? This is greater. So, 2.155 is greater. Children, there are some questions which are given for practice. So, you have to do them as homework. Which one is greater? Just now you have again revised how to compare the decimals. So, please you solve these problems in your notebook. Which is greater, 0.6 or 0.7? Then 0.6 or 0.06? C is 1.33 or 1.2 and D is 4.4 or 4.400. So, you have to practice them. Here we have some more problems given as homework. You have to write the expanded form of these decimals, and then next question is convert each one into decimal. Fractions are given, you have to convert them into decimals. And next is write the fractions as write the fractions for the decimals. These decimals are given, you have to write the fractions for them. And next one is write the following decimals as fractions. Okay. Here also we have to write the fractions for the decimals and you have to write the lowest form of the fractions. We will continue with the revision in our coming session. Thank you.